So what we need to do, and again, this doesn't, if you don't really have a real good understanding of this, don't do it. Don't give it a try until you're higher up in the level. So my heaviest part of the line is going to be hanging down, and the heaviest part is with the ring on it. And you want the heaviest part to be hanging down, so when you release, the ring actually takes the pressure off. If you flip it the other way, heaviest part is at the top, you'll release it, and there won't be any release on the horse. I don't have any idea how long this is going to take. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but we'll just get a little bit of a start on it. You can finish him up. By the way, is the horse ever really finished? Any finished horses? I don't think so. So then when I take the pressure off, the weight of the ring helps it. So the first thing I'm going to ask him to do, remember yesterday or the day before, the first thing that we did was there was no forward movement when we were doing zone 5 driving. So the same thing is going to be here. Is I don't want any forward movement. Play a little friendly game here with him. I think he's pretty good about that. So, darn sensitive horses, eh? Darn Parelli horses. So darn sensitive to everything. So the idea is, if we could get everything done from here, I don't want the forequarters coming to me, but if we could get stuff done just like that. Okay, I don't want him to have to think that the rope needs to get tight and a lot of pressure to get this done. So the least amount of pressure, the better. I don't want the forequarters to come before. So that's the porcupine game. Highly beneficial. Okay. So now, I'll ask him to go forward. How I do that is I'm just going to play a little driving game with him. Just like that. And now I'm going to ask him to see if we can get him think to his feet and stop. A little bit of a nice try. Just like that. So now I'm going to ask him to go forward again. Pick my life up. Isn't that amazing how this works? Okay. So it's kind of like they're not really effective. That's for sure. I'm going to ask him to go forward with a little driving game. And now can I get the message to his feet to come in off the circle and slow down. Something like that. Now give him a release and he stops. So I felt him wanting to stop right there. That's why I released him. Forward. I'll see if I can do this. Ask him up into a trot just by the flank rope. He sped up a little bit. He sped up a little bit. I'll turn him loose. He says, "Oh my gosh." Different way of doing it. So just nice, there it is. So I'll give him comfort when he makes a try. There we go. Now I'm not going to go too far before I ask him to come down to a walk and maybe a stop. Oh yeah. We hear that, Linda? You had this kind of like, I don't know, I couldn't explain the look on your face, that's why I asked you.
I'm just thinking like, your 12-foot line is just there.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Right. And the idea is, because he's got such a nice foundation, it's not going to take him long before we'll be able to take the 12-foot line off, and he'll be able to stay in that circle with just the flank rope on. And what it does is it gets his mind on you through the flank rope, not through his nose, not through his head. The benefits to flank rope in a horse are just phenomenal, but you can ruin a horse by doing this too. It's like round corrals. There's been more horses ruined by round corrals than ever made, because you can force them. Okay? So the first time I flank roped a horse, I read it from a book. I never saw it on video. I had no idea how to do it, just by reading what was on paper. Go forward, buddy. Go forward. Yeah. I had him bucking inside of about 30 seconds.
Give or take.
Maybe even less. But then that gave me the chance to figure it out. So I had to get him back not bucking anymore, and then get him on the right track again. So I use the driving game to go forward. And I just, I want him to feel, so I'll just pick my life up a little bit and I'll just have him feel the line here. And it just progressively gets more and more to a point where there. Now, I never want to knock this out of him. Don't knock this out of him. So we're going to dab in the trot, but when he wants to do this, I'll say, yep, that's okay too. Especially in the beginning. Because it's, like I said yesterday, it's so easy to crank a horse up, to tighten up the spring. We do very little of relaxing the spring. Yeah, I mean, if you panic and you pull on him, yeah, I don't think it's ever really going to hurt him, but it could, sure. I'll ask him. I'm going to ask him up into a trot, and I'll just pick my life up a little bit and just see if we can. There we go. Now, he's done this many times before, eh? Yeah, never. Oh. And that's how we want every horse to act like. Some horses it takes a lot longer. But if we just take our time and we get them comfortable with it and dab it into them, there's no reason why every horse can't be this way, just even the first time. Okay? So I'll pick my life up, ask him to go forward, pick my life up again. Ask him to go a little bit faster now, maybe even into a trot. Ask him up into a little bit faster, maybe even into a trot. There we go. Pardon me?
Don't say the word every time you say there we go. He thinks you said whoa.
Oh. Pick my knife up. Now just get, and the idea is I'd like for him to trot, but I'm going to reward even if he speeds up a little bit. And pretty soon you're doing very little and he'll trot for you. So now I'll reach down the line and ask him to whoa. Ask him to stop. Just by holding a little bit of tension on the rope. And this is, aha, it makes sense to him. So what's going to start to take place is that when if you can build this into him right now, when he gets out and he gets a little bit confused maybe, and he gets the line becomes a little bit tighter because he's making the circle bigger. When he feels that on his ribs or feels that on his flank, he'll stop instead of panic and run off. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah, so teach him that porcupine game means stop. And I know it's kind of the opposite of when we're riding. Okay? Pick my life up and ask him to go forward. Yep. Pick my life up again, ask him to go forward a little faster. I would really like for him to trot, but I'm going to reward the slightest try. Pick my life up, ask him to go forward a little bit more. Pick my life up, ask him to go a little bit more. Now I'm going to ask him to stop. So you can go through your phases to stop as well. So I was we were up in Manitoulin Island there a couple of years ago, and I did a colt start demonstration for the locals around there, and got done the colt start, and I just rode him around in there, and I laid on his back and disengaged his hindquarters. And anyways, I think I was up into a trot in a 60-foot round crowd, just trotting around. It went so nice. And there were some people afterwards said, that horse been rode before. He'd been rode before. And he wasn't. It was all about the preparation prior to what took place. So there's no such thing as, at the end of it, you say, yeah, it would have worked better if my horse hadn't been so prepared. There's no such thing as that. So, and this is the case of it right here. Preparation. Fantastic. Having the horse confident, curious, sensitive, responsive. And at the end of the day, they'll have their dignity. There's a little bit faster. You notice that I didn't go, now let's trot. I reward the speed. I reward him thinking about it. There's a little bit more of a thought. Ask for a little bit more. Ask for a bit more. There's a try. A little bit faster. Ask for a little bit more. Pretty soon he's going to trot. Pick my life up. Ask for a little bit more. And now he's trotting. Now I'm going to ask him to stop. There's my phase one. Oh yeah. And I noticed something that he did that time with his nose, was he did that with his nose as he was moving around. He lowered his head and he just tipped his nose a little bit like that. Okay? Huh. Any questions? Very clear on it? Good. Me too. Me too. There's old Rambler, he would be bucking and bucking, and I'd hold on to him. And he didn't, you know, it's just like, it's kind of one of those things where I wish I had known now. I wish I know now what I knew then and started over, right? Can't do that. Huh? Yeah, I wish I knew then what I know now. So that's something that I would strongly suggest that you give it a try with your horses. The first thing I want to teach them is how to make sense of this, how to yield from this. And it's just a porcupine game, exactly the same way, except in a little bit different application. So that time you pick his foot up, because he's just trying to make sense of it, he's maybe a little bit leery of it. So I won't pull on him. I'll just set it up and wait, just with a little bit of pressure. There's a little try. There's another little try. Another little try. Another little try. Another little try. There's a nice try. There's a nice try. Okay, so again, have them coming sideways to you, and then ask them to go forward at a walk, make sense of it, and do your little walk, stop transitions, and then go from a walk to a trot, do these little transitions, and pretty soon you'll be cantering. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? Good. Again, the benefits to doing this and learning how to do this is there's so many, and what it really comes down to is if you can do this without causing your horse to buck, that's the whole idea of it. And then the next horse that comes along, you'll be able to do it even better, and then learn it as a skill, and then you'll be able to help a horse that has bucking issues or something like that. Okay. Round pen is the best place to do it, because if he gets into trouble, he's just going to go around in a little circle. He's not going to run away from you. Yep. Good. Very good. So thank you very much, Beth. You're welcome. Any questions? Any comments? Concerns?
Concern is over.
Patience? Actually, that was real quick.
I can go get Drayton in the back pasture. He'd be interested.
Well, if we had more time. I love doing those kind of things, figuring them up.
He can't go in the round pen. I don't know what happened in his previous life, but the minute he goes in the round pen, he switches off.
Right. Well, what you want to be able to do is figure out where he really gets unconfident, and then retreat back from there. And it might be 60 yards from the round pen he sees it, and you want to go back.